hear the voice. Is there any suggestion that I must be more loud or more clear? Because
Yes,
today I'm going. Sorry.
I can hear you clearly.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
I will check the interpreter channels.
Yes, yes, please. Sometimes interpreter says my voice is not so clear or something like that. Hui, are you here online? Hui-san, Miss Hui.
Miss Hui is still connecting.
Ah, 你好, Hui.
Morning, Mr. Endo.
Morning.
Morning, everyone.
How are you? You have a very beautiful teeth. Right.
Okay.
It's not the, no. It's not front teeth. You.
Morning, Nacha.
Good
No,
morning.
good afternoon, right?
Good afternoon. Dr. Nacha, where are you right now? It's a Bangkok office?
In Bangkok.
Office in the Bangkok? Ah.
But Dr. Vanita is going abroad. She have meetings in Cambodia.
Ah, I see. Just a moment, I check the light. Ah, good morning. How are you? Do you remember me? We met in Chinese training course in when I visit. You are muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, thank you so much for supporting us all along. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for your arrangement. Are you also working with the GIAHS unit?
Of
Still?
course. I'm the one who bring the Dr. Saki, the expert, to visit the site last October.
Saki.
Doctor, he's the one who conduct the site inspection. The site.
The field visit.
Yeah, the field visit. Yes, I brought him to inspect the wetland area, and then
I see. Okay.
he recommend us.
You don't know Miss Young Hui? Please introduce each other.
Yes, I'm Chris. I'm a chief of the international organization corporation in charge of looking after the FAO cooperation with Thailand. Yeah. So actually, I have known Mr. Hendo for almost 10 years.
Wow, you're
Yeah.
old friends.
So then I happened to attend the GIAHS training in China in 2015 for 2 weeks. Yeah. I had a chance to visit many of GIAHS sites in China, and one of them I remember very clearly is the grape plantation. Grape plantation. You know, I forgot the name of the city. And then another one is a rice farming terrace, where they also raise fishes on top of the mountain. Yeah. So I hope that if FAO have a sufficient funding, maybe can organize another training again. Yeah, it's very useful to us. 2 weeks. Yes, we get to know a lot of friends from other country like Peru, Chile, and also Egypt. Yeah, many of
Yeah.
my colleagues. With some of them, I still keep in touch with them.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yang Hui is Miss Yang Hui is APO, which started APO last year and continuously working with us. So please visit the FAL
Yeah.
next year, this year, and please come to our office. Yes,
Of course.
with Miss Na Chang and Dr. Vanida.
Yeah.
Okay, we must start within 3 minutes. And
นัดมานั่งเลย
do you think
นัดมานั่ง
we have many people?
Okay, check on.
Today there
I
is
will
no
check the
opening.
interpreter channel to listen to check for the voice and sounds clear or not. Please.
เรียกว่าภาษาไทยบ้างเนี่ย
Okay.
Nacha,
ไม่ใช่
just let you know the Korean expert cannot connect for the Q&A session, and he welcomes questions through email.
Okay. I will collect all the question and send to his email.
ไม่มีออน
Are you ready to be connected? Are you ready to invite all the participants?
Yes, we
Are you
are
ready?
ready now. I will accept all the people in the waiting rooms.
If you're ready, let's start from 9 o'clock. Just 1 minute.
Yeah, sure.
When the time comes 9, please connect.
Okay.
And today we don't have any opening ceremony or opening. I just briefly introduce the last session and today's session, and immediately hand over to the speaker via like Mr. Yamada. So today we're a little bit busy, and we don't have any time to say blah 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 explanation. So quite business-like style of webinar. So
okay. 9. Okay, I admit all.
when Thai okay, shall we start? Can I?
Okay, we are ready. You can start.
Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Thai
ได้ยินเสียง
people.
ชัดเจนครับ
I think it's noon time, so it's good afternoon. Good morning from Rome, FAL. This time, today's session, FAL is going to coordinate the meeting. So my name is Yoshida Endo. I also make a presentation last week. I am a GIAHS coordinator, the chief leading officer of this program. So today, we are going to ask 5 speakers representative from GIAHS sites, 5 representative of GIAHS sites to introduce their GIAHS sites just for 20 minutes. So today we have a very, very tough schedule, fully packed with an agenda. And the last 30 minutes, we are going to organize some Q&A session, question and answer session. But of course, all the questions you may have cannot be exchanged or discussed just 30 minutes. So again, like last week, if you have any question, please write in the chat board or any other appropriate place in this Zoom system. We try to answer. We give the answer to Miss Nacha.
เขาก็ย่อมมาเขียนเองครับ
Yeah.
เขาก็ได้ผิดเพราะว่า
So,
รหัสอยู่กับเขา
Just before starting, just giving a microphone, please try to make mute. Sorry, I had been muted, so no one could hear you.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, because I tried. Anyway, so good morning once again to Thailand people, and good afternoon. My name is Yoshida Endo. I'm going to be a coordinator of this, not only coordinator of GIAHS, but the coordinator of this meeting. And we are trying to ask 5 GIAHS representatives to present their GIAHS sites in just 20 minutes. So we have 5 speakers. And at the very end of this session, we're trying to have 30 minutes question and answer time. Of course, we cannot handle all these questions you may have during just a 30 minutes time. So if you have any question, please write to your question in a chatting board, and we try to reply to your questions through Ms. Lacha. And please try to make your microphone in a mute mode when you don't you don't need to speak. So except for the speakers or presenters, please put your microphone on in a mute mode. So let me first introduce the speaker. The first speaker is from Japan, from Beer Lake GIAHS site. And Mr. Genta Yamada will introduce his own GIAHS site. He's originally from Japanese Ministry of Agriculture. Now he's seconded from national government to a local government, prefecture government of Shiga Prefecture. And he's acting as director of Fisheries Management Division of Shiga local government government. So, Mr. Yamada, can you hear me? Please change your microphone mode to speaking mode. Yes.
Yes, I can hear you very well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So please start your presentation for 20 minutes. Thank you for your cooperation.
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and Sawadee Kap. I am Genta Yamada, Director of the Fisheries Management Division of Shiga Prefectural Government. Thank you for giving us this opportunity today. Above all, I would like to convey our big congratulations to the people in Thailand for your system has been certified as GIAHS. And it is a great pleasure for me to talk about Beer Lake to Land Integrated System, now certified as GIAHS. Can you see the presentation document?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
you can see it.
Okay. In our system, where freshwater resources are conserved, sustainable practices reflecting the tradition have been handed down from generation to generation. During the G7 Agriculture Ministers meeting held in Japan this year, the importance of sustainable food systems was emphasized. Our system is an icon in this context. We will develop this system as a brand and pass it to the next generation. We also hope this will contribute to the world as a model of sustainable food systems. Now, let me introduce the Lake Biwa region.
山田さん、すいません。その画面が、パワーポイントの全画面モードというか、私が見てる画面というのは、そのノートの部分も、つまり発言走行も一緒に映っちゃってるモードになってるんですけど、全画面モードにパワーポイントをそちらで設定してやったの。I'm just asking Mr. Yamada to convert the mode of PowerPoint into the normal presentation mode.
ちょっと待って。
なんか、全画面モードにされた方が、
はい。少
ノート部
々
分も今映ってしまってたんで。
失礼いたしました。
はいはい。じゃあどうぞ。はい。はい。
ちょっと待ってくださいね。
はい、どうぞどうぞ。
はい。
これで、遠藤さんいけてますかね。
まだ下のなんかも発言モードが映っちゃってるんですけどね。これ、もし解消しなかったらもうそのままでやってください。
そしたら、
全画面モードにすれば、そういうのがなくなるはずなんです
これ
けど、
が
ね。
全画面グリーン。
画面拡大。
あ、これか。
あ、
いや、違います。スライドショーにしているので、
あ、そうですか。
共有にしてるからやと思います。ちょっとすいません。ちょっと申し訳ない。
外したね。
あ、ちょっとこっちのディスプレイを、これを、複製にしちゃったので、皆さんに拡張モードに変えます。これでどうでしょうか？これでも、
なんか次のスライドと、
映ってますか？
映っちゃってるんですよね。
これ抜きましょうか、HDMI。
はい。
あれ、ちょっと待ってくださいね。
なんか今、チャットの方にタイの人が助言を、
愛語ですわ。愛語です。
オールウィンドウズ、ズームにシェアしてるから、そう起こるんだと。
そうです
You can
ね。
share it to just only the presentation.
いや
わからない。
いや、まあ、別に発言モードが映っても構わないっていうんであれば、全然構いませんので、分かればいいです。
こちらで、普通はこれが全画面モードになるんですけどね。
ちょっと、それぞれ一旦終わってみたら、終わってみて。
これが全画面モードやもんね。おかしいな。なんでやろう。
これで、
これ、
動けば、これで。
いや、これが、
Miss Andrew, maybe we can ask Nasha to share. I also share the presentation with her.
あ、OK。
スライドショー持ってって、発表させてほしい。
タイの方から、タイの人にも送ってるんで、タイの方からシェアしてもらえますか？映してもらいましょう。Dr. Nasha, can I ask you to share the screen? ちょっとスクリーンシェアをやめてもらえますか？そちらで。一旦ちょっと中止してもらいます。Dr. Nasha, can you share the screen of Shiga Viewer Lake
Okay,
presentation?
sure. I will share
普通は、ここでさっき見てたみ
for
たい
a
に、
minute.
ああいうふうにするはずなんですよ。で、昨日手差す時もそれで映ってたので、なんでそれで映ってしまってるから。違う。いや、これは違う動画が、パワーポイントをお願いしたいんですが。
Do you have any PowerPoint? This is a video.
At the eastern end of
PowerPoint, yes,
You don't have PowerPoint?
I have. Wait for a minute. I will. The PowerPoint.
Okay, okay. So, okay, Dr. Nacha, thank you. So it's a minor problem. So, じゃあもう見えても構わないです。そのままやっちゃいましょう。
はい
どうぞ、滋賀県の、はい、どうぞそのまま。Okay, we can restart. Sorry for this technical issues. Okay?
I'm sorry. So let me start again. Okay, then please look at this. It is the location of Lake Biwa region.
Located approximately in the center of the Japanese archipelago. With Lake Biwa as our stage, we have long been engaged in fishery and agriculture in harmony with
nature, developing a recycling-based system.
Okay. Our region, surrounded by mountains of water sources, is under jurisdiction of the local government called Shiga Prefecture. 1.4 million people live around Lake Biwa. Lake Biwa is the largest in Japan, and it is one of the third oldest lakes in the world, with a history of 4.4 million years. So it is blessed with abundant endemic species of fish and shellfish for being an ancient lake. Major cities like Osaka and Kyoto are located in its downstream, and Lake Biwa supplies drinking water to 14 million residents. These are some characteristics of Lake Biwa region. As you can see, the annual average temperature in 2022 is 15.8 degrees Celsius. The annual precipitation is about 1,570 millimeters. The life expectancy of male is 81.73 years old. It is #1 in all prefectures in Japan. The participation rate in volunteer activities is 33.9%, which is also #1 in Japan. Next, let me explain ourselves. Our council consists of over 700 members. It is a unique feature that these members include not only farmers and fishermen, but also students, citizens, researchers, and local authorities. With the certification as GIAHS, we will continue our efforts as one in an integrated manner. Now, I would like to present the system. It boasts more than 1,000 years of history. The system has developed in several steps. First, people developed paddy fields around the lake to start rice cultivation. Then the lake fish migrated to paddies to spawn. Rice paddies became breeding grounds for the fish, like their cradles. Next, people enjoyed catching those fish migrating to paddies for dinner. They devised and refined a technique to preserve fish with rice, which is fermentation. Finally, conservation and utilization of water source forests prevent flood and drought, and at the same time protect water as well as fish. Here in this history, let me clarify 3 distinctive points. First, humans are part of the ecosystem, living in harmony with the environment. And second, this system has historically maintained the culinary culture in Kyoto, an ancient capital of Japan. Third, the social mechanism to conserve the source of drinking water and fishery resources has been structured and continuously developed over hundreds of years. Let me show you the 5 components of our system. First, water source forests. The forests of the mountains bear the function of preventing floods and drought, which is enhanced through afforestation. Second, lake-to-land focused environmentally sound agriculture. This traditional farming style has contributed to conserving the water quality and ecosystem of Lake Biwa through traditional drainage management, which has prevented soil runoff and helped maintain the fertility of the farmland. At the same time, it has nurtured biodiversity, such as the fishery resources like of the lake, together with the fish cradle paddies. Third, fish cradle paddies. These are rice paddies where round crucian carp and other lake fish migrate from Lake Biwa to spawn. Fourth, eddy. It is a stationary fishing device, the most typical of passive fishing methods. Fifth, funazushi. This is a preserved food made from pickling fish by lactic fermentation. The fish used for funazushi is round crucian carp, which is fermented in cooked rice. Let me move on to the origin of our system. The rice farming practices in paddies have been conducted in the Lake Biwa region for over 2,000 years. There is archaeological evidence of paddy development around Lake Biwa. Initially, lake fish laid their eggs in the reed bed. However, after water channels connected rice paddies with Lake Biwa, some lake fish would travel upstream into those paddies to spawn when the rainy season came and the water level rose. That's why we call this paddy fish cradle paddy. This is the fish cradle paddy. Round crucian carp and catfish migrate from Lake Biwa to paddies to spawn. The juvenile fish, swim down to the lake and grow to become fishery resources. Next is the eddy fishing, which is a traditional fishing method in Lake Biwa. It is a passive method which fishermen catch only required amount of fish. For conserving the fishery resources, the mesh size of a net is large enough for the juvenile fish to be excluded from the catch. Over 1,000-year history of the eddy fishing is confirmed from the old document and the relic. Next is the food culture. The most notable dish is narezushi, a preserved food prepared for fermentation by pickling lake fish in rice. Narezushi has been recognized as the prototype of Japanese sushi. Funazushi has been associated with festivities around Lake Biwa. The most exemplary of these is Sushi Cutting Festival. Look at the festival on this movie.
Oh my God.
Thank you. The next, the water source forests surrounding Lake Biwa cover approximately half of the catchment area and serve the essential functions of recharging the water source and preventing floods and droughts. So the conservation of forests that recharge the water source of Lake Biwa is another essential element supporting our system. Traditional Lake Biwa fisheries have been supported by water source forest conservation efforts led by various organizations and citizens. And we have experienced challenges and lessons regarding water resource conservation, which can be shared globally. As you can see, freshwater red tide occurred in 1977 amid Japan's economic growth. This occurrence shocked fishermen, farmers, and citizens because they cherished Lake Biwa. The public campaign was organized, leading to the enactment of an ordinance and establishing regulations on industrial effluent and pesticides. Thanks to those efforts, freshwater red tide has not been confirmed since 2010, which exemplifies that water quality in Lake Biwa is improving. As for the landscape, we have designated special districts to protect landscapes where no houses or signboards can be built on the lake shore. With measures like this in place, we work hard to preserve the stunning scenery along the shores of Lake Biwa. These are characteristics of our system. Our system is a sustainable system for the coexistence of humans and nature, currently directly affecting the lives of 14 million people. It is the responsibility of those who live in this region to maintain and pass down this traditional system to future generations. We are determined to build on the harmonious relationship between Lake Biwa and humans and further enhance the sustainability of the proposed system by taking efforts to foster, protect, communicate, spread, and build on the system. We will forge ahead with our conservation plans towards the future. Our particular values are placed on employment support in the agriculture and the fishery, and on hands-on experience provided for children. With our unique effort, we will preserve biodiversity and water resources. Biwa Lake to Land Integrated System is our treasure, as you may be aware of. We will extensively disseminate this system as GIAHS and inherit it to the next generation. Furthermore, for conserving water resources and improving the sustainability of food systems, we wish this system to contribute to the world. Thank you for your kind attention. Koppen Cup.
Thank you, Mr. Yamada, for making your presentation during your very busy time. I really appreciate it. This is a quite interesting GIAHS site where the ecological functions is fully utilized, and the ecological relation between paddy field and lakes are the highlight. And also the fishing method is very unique. Fishing method is not to try to capture the fish, and the entire fish is not the target of the fishing. The small size or young fish are escaped from such a fishing mechanism, fishing facility. So please review the FAO website where the proposal document is uploaded, and you can understand more in deeply about this system. The next speaker, thank you very much. 滋賀県の皆様、本当にありがとうございました。山田さん、ありがとうございました。
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
so yes, next speaker is from Korea, Dr. Jae-ryu Shim. He's a professor of Department of Geography Education and Gyeongsang National University. He will introduce traditional Gwaedulongjang irrigated rice terrace in Gyeongsang-do, Republic of Korea. This is also a very unique agriculture system. Professor Jae-ryu Shim, are you online? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm here.
Yeah. Could you please, thank you for your participation, and please start your presentation for 20 minutes. And for the rest of the audience, please try to make your microphone in a mute position once again.
Thank you. Thank you for introducing me. Well, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, good afternoon, guys. Is it right where you are? My name is Jae-yeol from Gyeongsang National University in South Korea. Well, I'm a geologist and geomorphologist. Today, I'm going to talk on Gudeljang rice terraces in Korea. Well, in terms of agricultural heritage, I may not be a specialist in this field, but as you know, this is a field of multidiscipline, such as history, landscape architecture, biology, and geology, etc. Now, I'm going to begin with a short video. Well, this video was made by an amateur. It's me, so it is not the best. Anyway, well, and I'm sorry for the Korean subtitle. Anyway, in the past, I mean, about 500 years ago, it was not allowed to live on an island because the government couldn't collect taxes. So early settlers were the ones who came in hiding from the government. This was the beginning of the islanders. But the people had to live in some difficult conditions. And they made many stunning but hard-working relics. And now it is on the verge of disappearing. The irrigated rice terraces, Gudeljang, is an outstanding example of a traditional human settlement and land use, which is representative of human interaction with the environment. Gudeljang is a heating system of Korean housing, and Gudel means a heated stone under the floor. Really, it has a long history in Korea, but there are some differences between farming and housing. In some conditions of a small island, like a rocky slope and heavy rain, people had to only rely on rainwater and spring water for farming. So Gudeljang was created as an underground waterway for connecting a spring or a stream to the below and the surrounding fields. The reason for the under-draining curved was to expand even a little more farmland on this small place. This is its elevation structure, and the most important part of structure is curved under-draining system. And these are its outlets. Its shape and size are various depending on location and amount of draining and how to make it easily. In this island, Gudeljang and farmland tended to spread down from high mountainous area. Considering the drainage system up to down, this is natural and inevitable. Plus, according to our archaeological findings, this corresponds well with the fact the early settlement took place from high elevation and tended to coastal area. In this map, red squares are the locations of curved outlets, and other symbols indicate secondary facilities to maintain the system, such as blues are a small pond, which functions to store water or warm water. This is also really important because spring water is too cold to water rice paddies directly. Greens are wells and yellows are water pump. Well, actually, water pump is a modern stuff. Anyway, considering the function of Gudeljang, this is clear. Rice paddies would have been created first above from above. By the way, Gudeljang has been the subject of conflict and dispute among island people because, as you can see, not only the function of culvert was very important for island farming, but also the construction of culverts requires a lot of labor. Therefore, it was first built by connecting between families and relatives, and not all rice paddies have weeded. In terms of geology, the gravels and rocks covering the slope had to be removed to create farmland, and the removed rock pieces were used as materials for rice terraces. At that time in the past, if people could build a large reservoir, hard work such as Gudeljang would not have been necessary. However, due to lack of technology and labor, Gudeljang have been created and spread from my fields to my brother's fields. So I would say Gudeljang was not the output of higher technology, but the output of desperate effort to survive on a barren island. And now, I'd like to tell you about a few new findings. First, what does the internal structure look like? In an early heritage report, it was said that internal structure would be complex, like that of housing, but no one knows yet. We assumed thermal infrared imaging technology can represent temperature differences of the internal structure, such as the curvature. Well, even though the result was not very clear, but we think it is a simple structure, just connecting the shortest distances, because it's the easy way. Secondly, how long ago were the terraces built first? We have some dating technique, and one of the technique applied to this project was optically stimulated luminescence dating. With this technique, we can determine the timing of burial event of samples. We use samples including soils in this project. We had 3 samples. One is soil sample from the bottom of rice terraces, and the others are pottery shards. We found them in a soil layer on the bottom of rice terraces. Well, in short, we've got the age of 380 years ago for the soil sample. It means the rice terrace was created at least before this time. And the pottery shards were made about 710 years ago and were buried in the ground about 700 years ago. If we can assume the time of its burial is close to the time of paddy construction, the time of construction can be traced back to about 700 years ago. This is the first result obtained by the scientific method. We don't know the exact time or timing of the construction yet. And we also investigated its distribution and usage and current conditions. And this work is necessary when we establish an effective conservation strategy. And we know there has been a huge change in use, from rice paddies to fields or general sites, damaging or neglecting curves and stone walls. This is a sample map using ArcGIS software and Gudejang rice terraces. Well, it's another sample. We all made all of the cover, the island. Gudejang rice terraces listed as a Korea and globally important agricultural heritage system, and also as a World Heritage irrigation structure. This project was carried out to register it as a World Heritage Site, and now it is under the discussion at a Korean relevant agency. So that's all what I'm prepared. If you send me any question or comment, I will answer them. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Singh. And yes, there will be a question and answer time later on. I try to make it as much as possible, but I must switch to the next speaker. I'm sorry to make it hurry. So next speaker is from Philippines, and he's going to explain Ifugao rice terrace. Unfortunately, the presenter is now in the car, so we must show some video he has made before. The presenter's name is Mr. Jude Pago, He's a director of the Ifugao State University Center for the Ifugao Rice Terraces. So this entity is taking care of the management of the Ifugao Rice Terrace. So Dr. Nacha, could you please play the video of Ifugao Rice Terrace? Thank you.
Province of Ifugao. We are located in the northern part. Good afternoon from the Ifugao State University. And thank you for inviting us to be part areas for GIAHS National Workshop for Thailand. We have here Hunduan,
Excuse me,
my
I'm afraid
presentation
there
will
is some
deal
duplication
more
of the video.
our
Could you start
direct
once again?
municipalities also have their own version.
There is some duplication. Two videos are operated in a time difference. So please start once again. Thank you.
Hunduan, Banawe, Mayu. Good afternoon from the Ifugao State University. Thank you for inviting us to be part of this GIAHS National Workshop for Thailand 2023. My presentation will deal more of our current conditions and our future directions as a heritage area. So as you can see, this is a map of the province of Ifugao. We are located in the northern part of the Philippines, and we have 4 areas for heritage. We have here Hunduan, Banawe, Mayuyao, and Kiangan. The rest, all of the municipalities also have their own versions of the rice terraces. But for these 4 areas, we have here the heritage areas. And as you can see here, the Ifugao rice terraces of the Cordillera Philippines was inscribed as GIAHS in 2011 and UNESCO World Heritage Sites in 1995. It contains the same area for GIAHS and UNESCO. We are also declared as a national treasure by the Philippine government in 1970s. And here is a sample of a map that showcases the interrelationship of the Ifugao landscape or the Ifugao Satoyama. So we have here the Muyung or the forest area, then the rice terraces, the rice ponds, and then the Sweden farms, and then the settlements, or we call it Bobla here, and then the water forms, the creeks, rivers, and other water forms. So as you can see, this is how our landscape, especially in the heritage areas. And with our heritage areas, we have here the current conditions. These are results of our summit held last year, participated by our local government units, our academe, and our stakeholders from the heritage areas. So as you can see, we have here demographic change. It means that we are having a problem in terms of population decrease in all the heritage areas. This is because of outmigration of our people from the heritage areas due to economic reasons. And also is the increasing abandonment of the Ifugao rice terraces. We have actually some hundreds of hectares in all heritage areas. Because of the decreasing population, we don't have also the labor force or the workforce to do the activities in the rice terraces. And because of the abandonment, we are seeing increased damage of the Ifugao rice terraces. What we can see here are some data from our local government units. Also, we have the denuded watershed. And this is very worrisome because we are losing at least 2,000 hectares every year. There are many reasons about it. These are because of the shifting agriculture, or also on the push for commercial or temperate vegetables in the mountains. Then we have the introduction of new rice varieties and species, and the increasing presence of invasive species, and the loss of interest among young people. This is a problem since we don't have young people to tend the rice fields. Then our aging population cannot anymore handle the activities, and therefore we go back with the other concerns while ago mentioned on the abandonment of the Ifugao rice terraces, and also with the increasing damage in the rice terraces. So here are some examples of the our problem in the forest denudation. As you can see, the mountains are now being converted to agricultural land. So this is in Banawe, Ifugao, Philippines. This setting is also being experienced by other heritage areas. The push for highland and temperate vegetables are in demand. So our communities are also expanding their vegetable garden areas in the mountains, and this is causing problem in not only for the heritage areas but also in the downstream communities. If this will continue, then we will have problem on the supply of water, because we are also considered the watershed of the region, also with other biodiversity issues. And here are the drivers of change in the Ifugao rice terraces. One here is the change in cultural values. So you should all know that the province of Ifugao is also home of indigenous peoples. And the Ifugao rice terraces is deeply intertwined with our indigenous knowledge, systems, practices. And because of the inroads of education and religion, these practices or systems and knowledge are being forgotten, and they are actually diminishing. And because of this, the way we conduct our agricultural activities in the rice terraces are also changed. And also we have problem in disintegration of rice culture because of the introduction of new varieties, species being planted by our local farmers, and introduction of new varieties and species, also with the invasive species. The rice terraces actually now is having problem on alien species. Examples of these include the golden apple snail, also with the hair-like worms, or what we call Chubifex in its scientific name, and also with the Asian swamp eel. These are introduced, and they are making changes actually in the rice terraces. Also with improved market access, it means that more roads are built along the mountains, and with this is also changing the economic landscape of the rice terraces areas. Also, we have poor monitoring and law enforcement. As you know, we have a lot of laws, yeah, for our heritage, but its implementation is another story. And also with the farm and settlements expansion, and these are all evident in heritage areas. And overexploitation of its resources, especially the forest products, change in land use. In its traditional use, all rice terraces are used for rice production, but now they are also the local farmers are also changing into garden areas. Forest fires, we have also these cases, and the loss of interest among young people in the Ifugao rice terraces. And with this, we have responses, of course, with these changes in the rice terraces. For the academe, for the Ifugao State University, which I belong, we do research, indigenous people's education, and crafted programs towards the Ifugao rice terraces conservation. Also, we are now having increased collaboration with local government units in its restoration efforts or initiatives, in its policies and legislations. Recently, we had the midterm review of our Ifugao Rice Terraces Development Plan, and also with the heritage impact assessment for the hydroelectric plants that are being or planned to be constructed along the heritage areas. And of course, we have international collaborations. Now, with all these problems and conditions of the rice terraces, the local government units, also with farmers and the Ifugao State University, came up with these futures of the Ifugao rice terraces. We need to have more accessible environmental information, agriculture revitalization, culture, nature, heritage citizens, tourism for economic and food security, natural, historical, and cultural tourism destination, community of environmental citizens, also with cultural invested local governance, tourism preeminence, and revitalization of indigenous knowledge systems and practices, rice product livelihood security, functional zoning system, agritourism for food and livelihood security, and then contemporary agricultural system and cultural natural heritage systems. We identified this that this can be done in the rice terraces to revitalize its main purpose, which is rice production, and also to reinvigorate the diminishing indigenous knowledge systems and practices. This can be done in partnership with local government units and our farmers, and also with the university. These are difficult things to do, but I think with the recent resolution of local government units in the heritage areas, that there is a need to there is a need to study again and to go back on the current conditions of Ifugao rice terraces and come up with appropriate policies. And here are some pictures of our heritage areas. One, the upper picture there in the river is the tagging ritual, our traditional house, and picture of a heritage area in one of the municipalities, and harvested rice. So these are some pictures of the rich cultural landscape of the Ifugao rice terraces. I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation. And the presentation we have just seen is demonstrating the issue and challenges of this GIAHS site is facing. Could you please change to the normal mode? Maybe we need to change the video screening mode to normal Zoom mode. I think the presentation we have just seen demonstrated that there are several serious issues that faces this GIAHS site, and also some measures or activities that can address these issues are shown. Unfortunately, due to lack of time, we couldn't hear in detail about all these measures activities. The next webinar for Thailand, we are trying to take up the activities or measures that can be implemented under the action plan. So we'll invite IFGA Rice Terrace people again to explain these activities or measures or initiatives for addressing these serious issues. That will be very useful for all of us. So thank you very much once again for the presentation. And fortunately, we return to the normal track of the time schedule. And here, I would like to have some breaks for 10 minutes, 10 minutes break. So please come back 10 minutes past in Thailand time 10 minutes past 3. Please come back and we'll resume. We'll start again. So for the European zone, people living in the European time zone, please restart 10 minutes past 10. So Thailand people, until 10 minutes past 3 o'clock, we have just a 10 minutes short break. So see you later again soon. Mr. Nacha, Dr. Nacha, can you hear me?
Yes, Kiri.
I'm afraid the screen mode is still shared, and can I ask you to change it to the normal mode.
Okay.
Okay. So see you 10 minutes later. Thank you.
สงขลาเข้าด้วยกันกลายเป็นภูมินิเวศพื้นที่ชุ่มน้ำทะเลน้อยอยู่บริเวณทิศเหนือของทะเลสาบสงขลาซึ่งเป็นทะเลสาบแบบลากูนพื้นที่ชุ่มน้ำแห่งนี้มีความสำคัญซึ่งเป็นตัวเชื่อมของลุ่มน้ำปากพนังและลุ่มน้ำทะเลสาบสงขลาเข้าด้วยกันกลายเป็นภูมินิเวศพื้นที่ชุ่มน้ำขนาดใหญ่ที่สุดในพื้นที่ของภาคใต้ตอนกลางที่คนในพื้นที่ได้ทำมาหากินพึ่งพาอาศัยมาตั้งแต่สมัยโบราณกาลประกอบกับภายในพื้นที่ชุ่มน้ำทะเลน้อยยังมีระบบนิเวศย่อยอีกมากมายเช่นป่าพรุทุ่งหญ้าเนินสูงบึงน้ำส่งผลให้มีระบบนิเวศย่อยอีกมากมายเช่นป่าพรุทุ่งหญ้าเนินสูงบึงน้ำส่งผลให้มีความหลากหลายทางชีวภาพสูงโดยเฉพาะการเป็นแหล่งที่อยู่อาศัยของนกน้ำไม่น้อยกว่า200สายพันธุ์และเนื่องด้วยความอุดมสมบูรณ์นี้เองทำให้พื้นที่ชุ่มน้ำทะเลน้อยกลายเป็นจุดพักสำคัญของบรรดานกอพยพตามเส้นทางการบินเอเชียตะวันออกถึงออสเตรเลียนอกจากนี้พื้นที่ชุ่มน้ำไทยนอกจากจะมีบทบาทสำคัญในระบบนิเวศพื้นที่ชุ่มน้ำทะเลน้อยยังทำหน้าที่นิเวศบริการหล่อเลี้ยงชุมชนท้องถิ่นมาอย่างช้านานโดยเฉพาะผู้คนจาก9ตำบล3จังหวัดพัทลุงนครศรีธรรมราชสงขลาซึ่งไม่น้อยกว่า 50,000 คนที่ต้องพึ่งพิงอาศัยการจับควายเพื่อจำหน่ายการจัดการสุขภาพรวมถึงการอพยพควายในกรณีที่เกิดอุทกภัยในพื้นที่ซึ่งล้วนจำเป็นต้องใช้ทักษะที่ได้รับการถ่ายทอดกันมาเฉพาะกลุ่มจะเห็นได้พัฒนาพื้นที่อย่างยั่งยืนที่สร้างสมดุลทั้งในมิติด้าน
Good afternoon once again for Thailand people. And now, shall I start the latter part of the webinar? Is it okay, Dr. Nachak? Do you think it's all right?
All right, shall we start?
Okay, thank you. And the next speaker for the first speaker of the second segment of this webinar, we have invited Dr. Louis Mo Chang from China. He's a researcher of the Institute of Geographic Science and Natural Resources Research in China. This institute is very famous for its past accumulated experience of research on GIAHS in China as well as in other countries. Dr. Mo Chang, are you here online?
Yes, I'm here. Thank
Nice
you.
to meet you again.
Yeah, nice to meet you again.
You look so
I will
well.
share.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. He has been invited in many GIAHS webinars, and this is not only one time. And so I'm expecting their presentation. He will introduce is a Chinese tea production GIAHS site, Anxi Tiguan Tea Culture System. So, Dr. Mo Chang, please start.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, thank you again, Mr. Yoshihide. And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for the invitation of this conference. And I'm glad to share with you the protection and the development of Anxi Tieguanyin tea culture system in China. Anxi Tieguanyin tea culture system is located in Fujian provinces in the southeast China, with a total area of about 40,000 hectares. Thanks to the forest, abundant water source, and rich soil, the fields in the heritage site is quite suitable for tea planting. And the GIAHS site includes 3 towns, the Lutian, Huqiu, and Xiping. Located at the source of Lanxi River, Lutian Township played an important role in driving the promotion and application of Tieguanyin tea variety and oolong tea semi-fermentation technology. Nowadays, Lutian Township has become an important tea production base and international trade base. Lutian Township is the birthplace of Meizan tea tree variety, and the traditional tea custom is known for the tea picking festival. Now, it has become a tea industry talent hub and a tea technology research base. The second choice is Huqiu Township. The Huqiu is located at the lower reaches of the Lanxi River. Thanks to the convenient transportation, it was an important hub of the ancient Anxi tea route. Currently, it is the largest tea seedling breeding base in China and providing more than 100 million seedlings outside. Besides, it is also the birthplace of Huangdan tea tree variety. Traditional tea culture is famous for tea songs, and tea ecological tourism is in the ascendant. The last township is Xiping. Xiping is a country of Anxi Tieguanyin tea, the birthplace of semi-fermentation technology of oolong tea, and the orange of single root cutting vegetative propagation. The traditional tea varieties are well preserved, and the tea-making technologies are well inherited here. And there are still a large number of ancient tea cultural buildings which have witnessed the international trade of Anxi tea and the spread of oolong tea culture to the outside world for thousands of years. And this picture shows the history of the development of Anxi tea. The Anxi County started producing during the late Tang Dynasty. It is about 900 AD, rapidly developing during Ming and Qing dynasties about the 14th century to the 20th century, and flourished after the founding of the People's Republic of China. It has lasted for more than 1,000 years here. The unique climate, landform, and soil processing technologies and the tea varieties combine and create the unique characteristics of Tieguanyin tea. And in 2014, the Anxi Tieguanyin tea culture system was designated as the Chinese NIS, the National Important Agricultural Heritage System, by the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Affairs in China. And as Mr. Yusi had introduced in 2022, this system was designated as GIAHS by FAO. The first feature of Anxi Tieguanyin tea culture system is the semi-fermentation process. In the 1470s, the semi-fermented oolong tea production technique was invented. Compared with other kinds of tea making, the making technology of Anxi Tieguanyin tea is the most complicated. Besides the processing technologies from Tieguanyin tea's unique color, fragrance, and aroma. Among these processes, the toasting green leaves is the most complex and cool process, which depends on the weather conditions and the quality of the fresh leaves. The semi-fermented oolong tea production technology goes through 3 stages. We can see from this picture that, and it includes about 10 processes and 36 hours of continuous production from the 9 o'clock to the 9 p.m. in the next day. The second feature of Anxi Tieguanyin tea culture system is the rich tea varieties. The Anxi has more than 100 varieties of tea trees, among which 81 local ones has been discovered and utilized. And the principal tea varieties in Anxi are Tieguanyin, Huangdan, Benshan, Maoxie, Meizan, and Daye Oolong, designated as excellent national grade varieties in 1987. Except for the 6, I just the introduction in the last slides, the 6 national varieties. There are other 3 Fujian provincial varieties like Fuzhou tea, Amang tea, and Fenyunchun tea. There are totally 32 varieties, which could be made into high quality green tea and black tea. So the tea varieties are very rich in Anxi County. The third feature of Anxi Tieguanyin tea culture system is the eco-planting model. For example, there are different kinds of trees. Different kinds of trees are planted in tea garden to provide shade in summer to the tea and fallen leaves to cover the ground in winter. Besides, the annual green fertilizer is interplanted in the younger tea gardens in how to effectively prevent the evaporation of surface soil, water, and soil erosion. And at the same time, the planted green fertilizer can be used as fertilizer. The soil water storage capacity in the tea garden will be strengthened by means of deep tillage and building intercepting ditches in the tea garden. And tea farmers return grass on the terraces to cover the surface, which can preserve the soil and water and provide biological habitat. When the tea is harvested, the grass is moved to cover or bury between rows in the tea garden. And in recent years, in order to promote the protection and sustainable use of GIAHS, the heritage site, the Anxi County, has carried out a lot of work, including the following 5 aspects to realize the revitalization of rural areas. The firstly, the ecosystem conservation. The ecological protection policy was implemented, and ecological planting models was promoted, such as tea forest fruit and tea grass fruit. Also, an ecological tea garden monitoring system was established, and the infrastructure was improved to enhance the stability of ecosystem in the tea garden. Besides, the ecological compensation mechanism, maybe it is also could be called the PES, payment for ecosystem services, was constructed to promote the project such as return tea to forests and grasslands. Secondly, the technological inheritance. The local government established a technological school to provide training and services for farmers and professional cooperatives to promote the inheritance and innovation of skills. And since 2017, the Anxi Tietguanyin Tea Masters competition has been held every year to select tea masters. Many policies support the construction of master studios and encourage tea culture workshops and exhibition hall. At the present, Anxi has selected 8 Tietguanyin masters, and many farmers were selected as intangible cultural heritage inheritors at the national level, at the provincial level, and at the county level. At the same time, the women participation is also very important in the heritage protection. In Anxi County, in our system, the women actively participate in the development of the tea industry, especially in the stage of tea picking and making, accounting about 40% of the total labor force. Thirdly, the cultural communication. Many researchers on the tea culture were conducted and over 100 books were published. Meanwhile, in order to protect, inherit, and promote the Tietguanyin culture, the local community has excavated and restored 50 traditional tea songs and dances. And the government supports the construction of the Tea King Temple, encourage make good use of tea exhibition, and increase the display of tea culture. Besides, the local government organized a lot of domestic and international exchange activities about GIAHS and the China nears, expanding the circle of friends, such as the GIAHS high-level training course and the embassy in China visits the heritage sites, protection and development forum, and so on. Firstly, the industrial development. The Anxi Tiguanyin culture system is a compound agriculture production system comprised of forest, the tea garden, the farmland. Besides, Tiguanyin tea, which also produces the green cabbage, fruit, meat, fungus, and other products. It provides various kinds of agricultural products for local people. Yes, through the cooperation with research institutes, full utilization and deep processing of tea were carried out, and over 50 types of tea deep processing products were developed in the Anxi County, including such as tea powder, tea drink, tea sauce, and so on. In addition, a new business model, we call it the tea mauler, was developed to integrate production, processing, and leisure tourism. And a new economy model, so-called the tea plantation plus, was cultivated to realize the integration of tea plantation and culture, tea plantation and tourism. Currently, 22 tea maulers with unique characteristics has been built in the county, attract over 1 million fans every year. And the local government also accelerate the development of e-commerce and expand the tea market through internet technology. The market share of tea e-commerce has constantly ranked at the top in China for many years. And finally, the income growth of farmers. The tea industry is a pillar industry of the heritage site. And the local people can realize employment and the income growth by participating in tea planting and processing tea-themed products and marketing. For example, in 2018, about 72% of farmers' income was from the tea industry. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your attention and welcome to China's GIAHS.
Thank you, Dr. Mo Chang, for a very interesting presentation. So thank you very much for your punctuality, just to make within the 20 minutes. Really, once again, I'm very impressed with the tea production system site. Thank you once again, and see you next time in somewhere in the webinar or workshop. So I would like to proceed to the next speaker. The next speaker is from Bangladesh, Dr. Alma Lahman. He is a principal scientific officer, Bangladesh Agriculture Research Institute, and we have met several times in the webinar. And Dr. Rahman has made his presentation in previous GIAHS seminars. Dr. Rahman, are you on the line? Can you hear me?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for your participation during your very busy time. And I would like to pass you to the microphone. Please start your presentation for 20 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity to present my presentation on floating garden in Bangladesh. We know that this is recognized by GIAHS as GIAHS by FAO in 2015. Presented by myself, Dr. Alim Rahman, Principal Scientific Officer, Bangladesh Agricultural Research Institute. Floating garden practices in Bangladesh. We know the floating garden is a natural heritage, and this is considered as climate smart technology, agricultural technology in the country. And it is somehow 25 years ago, it started in the southern region of Bangladesh. And floating garden is originated in the flooded or waterlogged areas of Gopalganj, Borishal, and Pirozpur districts of Bangladesh. And this is a different pictorial views of floating garden in Bangladesh. And currently, about 1,255 hectares of land are cultivated under a floating garden in Bangladesh. This is the originator of floating garden agricultural practices in Bangladesh. This is as I mentioned earlier, Gopalganj, Borishal, and Pirozpur districts of Bangladesh. This is the originated here, the floating garden practices. As I mentioned below earlier, in 2015, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, recognized floating garden agricultural practices of Bangladesh as globally important agricultural heritage system. Potential area for floating garden in Bangladesh, we know that about 3 million hectares of medium low to very low land in Bangladesh, and that is 21% of the total country. And this is and besides there are about 373 number of Howard area, that is a total area at 8.58 lakh hectare. It is suitable for floating garden agricultural practices in Bangladesh. That is a vast area of land can be possible to grow floating garden in the country. The blue color mentions the inundated area, that is in the flood-prone area in the country, and showing here in the map. For floating garden agricultural practices, different materials, that is water hyacinth, Duralilota, Tupopana, algae, coconut dust. This is used for floating garden, and that is water hyacinth, Duralilota, Tupopana, algae, and this is used for different purpose. For example, bed preparation, bed and seedling ball preparation, bed and seedling ball preparation, and water hyacinth is mainly used for bed preparation. But Duralilota, Tupopana is used for both bed preparation and seedling ball preparation, and algae for ball preparation, and coconut dust for seedling bed preparation. And decomposed floating bed, compost and seedling ball preparation. There's different kinds of organic materials is used for floating bed preparation and floating garden practices. This is a water hyacinth beside river, water hyacinth in Swarjan, Topopana, Duralilota. This is commercial cultivation of aquatic vegetation at GIAHS sites, and these are used for floating bed preparation and floating garden agriculture practices in our country. This is a floating market, and these materials are sell in the floating market. This is the Tupopana is selling on boat, Duralilota and algae on boat, ready-made floating bed for selling, and also floating food shop, that is snacks item, also the sale in the market, floating market, in the GIAHS site. Traditional floating garden practices, there are two types of practices in the floating garden. That is one, vegetables and spices seedling production on floating bed, and another, vegetables and spices crop cultivation on floating bed. Then there are two types of practices on floating under floating garden practices. This is our location specific. Vegetables and spices cultivation, seedling production is practiced in Pirozpur and Borishal district, and the seedling, those are produced namely bottle gourd, chili, Mumbai chili, country bean, papaya, bitter gourd, cucumber, sweet gourd, long bean, etc. These seedlings are produced on floating bed and marketed through trawler, launch, boat, etc. in all over the Bangladesh. And marketing, these seedlings are marketing, as I mentioned below earlier. Vegetables and spices seedlings are floating beds sold primarily in local market, and then it is transported by launch, trawler, boat, and other vehicle for selling it all over Bangladesh. And seedling produced on floating bed mainly used as planting material under normal soil condition in the country. There is a seedlings on a trawler and seedlings selling in the local market, and the buyers, the farmers buying the seedlings from the local market. Farmers can earn average USD 140 per bed in a monsoon season, through the selling their seedling at local floating market. Another vegetable and spices crop cultivation, that is another practice. That is it is a practice in Gopalganj and Borishal district, and mainly summer vegetables in summer spices crops, particularly red amaranth, okra, Indian spinach, cucumber, and for spices, turmeric are cultivated on the traditional floating bed. And this is the pictorial view. This is okra, arrowroot, turmeric. This is traditional floating agricultural practices in Bangladesh. But there are some problems of traditional floating garden agricultural practices. That is the lack of floating agriculture-based modern technologies, no standardization, that is length, breadth, or height of floating bed. Durability of traditional floating bed is short, suitable only for seedling production and non-creeper vegetable cultivation. Conventional floating bed alone is not suitable for cultivation of creeper type of vegetable crops. Poor agronomic practices, infestation of disease, insect pest, and rodents, and other problems. That is why Bangladesh Agricultural Research Institute conducting different research on floating garden agricultural practices in Bangladesh. That is research area of floating agriculture. And the research area, the area of research area are improvement or standardization of traditional floating bed, production of quality seedling of vegetables and spices on floating bed, crop diversification on floating bed, fertilizer or nutrient management on floating bed, development of floating garden-based cropping systems, integrated vegetables and fish cultivation on floating bed, insect pest and disease management, diversified use of decomposed water hyacinth, and determination of water and soil quality due to floating agricultural practices. In this respect, we developed different types of technology, such as creeper vegetables cultivation use floating bed cum trellis, summer tomato cultivation on floating bed, off-season watermelon cultivation on floating bed, chili cultivation on floating bed, and another technology have been developed for the farmers. This is the leaflet or the booklet of the technologies, some of these technologies here. We have conducted several experiments, that is for improvement of floating garden agricultural practices, such as standardization of floating bed, seedling production of quality seedling bed, seedling production of spices crops, seedling production of field crops, cultivation of non-creeper summer vegetable crops, non-creeper winter vegetable crops, creeper vegetable on floating bed cum trellis, that is non-tidal and tidal models, spices crop cultivation, integrated vegetable and fish cultivation under floating agriculture system, integrated nutrient management, effective management of floating bed residue, and eco-friendly insect pest and disease management. This is the research area of our at Bangladesh Agriculture Research Institute, and we have developed different types of technologies for the improvement of floating garden agriculture practices in Bangladesh. This is floating bed preparation, a modern technology of floating bed preparation. But the floating bed is mainly based on water hyacinth, the floating bed preparation, and it depends on different different criteria. That is age of water hyacinth plant, water hyacinth growing place, that is shadow or sun, water root system of water hyacinth, rate of urea applied on floating bed, techniques of bed preparation, presence of carp fishes in water, and degree of water salinity. This is the criteria for floating bed duration of floating bed. And quality seedling production research at Bari for improvement of floating garden. That's quality seedling production. This is pictorial view of quality seedling vegetables and spices crop. Seedling production of vegetables and spices crops. We have done, as I mentioned, we have developed several modern technologies on floating garden, and one of them are floating bed cum trellis, that is non-tidal model, that is useful for creeper vegetable cultivation under non-tidal flooded condition. Yeah, this is the pictorial view, and is a less 50 to 60% less amount of water hyacinth compared to traditional floating garden system. And then this is used for creeper vegetables, that is a pumpkin cultivation or something like that. And this is the pictorial view of intercropping, that is with the creeper vegetables and non-creeper type of vegetables. And this is a pumpkin, bottle gourd, cucumber, watermelon cultivation on floating bed cum trellis under non-tidal conditioning. This is vegetable cultivation through floating bed cum trellis in Kishoreganj, Haur, Bangladesh. That is a big watershed in Bangladesh. This is another technology, that is a development of floating bed cum trellis, that is tidal model, where regular tidal, high tide and low tide are occurred, and here the technology is suitable for this condition. And bottle gourd cultivation and this is a pumpkin cultivation under tidal flooding ecosystem. This is a summer tomato cultivation on floating bed. This is another technology of floating garden. This is spices cultivation, that is chili, ginger, turmeric. This is a spices cultivation, modern technology of floating garden. This is another technology, integrated vegetables and fish cultivation through plastic dam-based floating system and tidal flooding ecosystem of Bangladesh. That is integrated vegetables and fish cultivation through a plastic bag. This is two types of technology, one in plastic bag and trellis, this technology, and another is a floating bed and trellis, where what hyacinth is available. This is suitable for that condition, but this technology is suitable for that condition where what hyacinth is not available. This is the non-creeper vegetable cultivation, that is Indian spinach, kangkong, gidia amaranth, stem amaranth on floating bed. This is an integrated improved IPM technology, integrated pest management technology against different insect pest management for insecticide management, and no chemical insecticide are used for floating garden and for eco-friendly for conservation of ecosystem. We used only pheromone trap or different types of organic pesticide for controlling insect pests and management. This is another technology that is a utilization of floating bed residue, that is for succeeding winter crop cultivation, that is non-call, mixed vegetable, broccoli, etc. The floating bed materials is used and for different types of cultivation of different types of vegetables, particularly winter vegetables. And the floating bed materials is used as compost, and this is eco-friendly, totally eco-friendly. And sweet floating bed material, that is also used for making ball and for growing different types of vegetable seedlings, and the seedlings is transplanted on land, plain land condition. The floating bed material also used for seedling preparation of maize and sunflower for transplanting under after monsoon rise and under zero tillage condition. That is a utilization of floating bed materials for different types of activities. Bangladesh government initiative for GIAHS conservation, improvement, and dissemination in Bangladesh. We have a project research, extension, and popularization of vegetables and spices cultivation of floating bed, and concerned Ministry of Agriculture, and two agencies of Bangladesh. There is Bangladesh Agriculture Research Institute and Department of Agriculture Extension are executing the project from July 2017 to June 2024 for promoting and disseminating the modern technologies of floating garden agriculture practices all over Bangladesh, as developed by Bangladesh Agriculture Research Institute. We have future research test on the floating agriculture. That is currently the availability of water is decreasing day by day. We have designed under different types of research test, that is floating agriculture under semi-floating condition, introducing of flower, fruit, and fodder crops under floating agriculture systems, floating agriculture-based cropping system improvement, seeking alternate materials of water in floating bed preparation, determination of qualitative traits and heavy metal of floating agriculture produces in different areas of Bangladesh, eco-friendly IPM packages for controlling insect pests and diseases, and commercialization of floating agriculture systems through producing and exporting quality organic produces in the international market. We have different types of technologies or practices in Bangladesh besides the floating agriculture practices that we can proposed for GIAHS or NIAS site in Bangladesh. Some of these technologies are shortsan agricultural practices, guava cultivation and floating guava market, zoom cultivation in hilly areas of Bangladesh, shrimp cultivation in coastal areas of Bangladesh. This is in the proposed for GIAHS in the next for Bangladesh. They also Gopalganj bill, Kishorganj Howard, Cholon bill, Baika bill, some wetland areas of Bangladesh may be proposed for enlisting in the Ramsar's license list. A recommendation for GIAHS management in Bangladesh. Presently, selected vegetables and spices crops are cultivated and their seedlings are raised on traditional floating bed. That is, we can introduce fodder, fruits, etc. in under floating garden agriculture practices in Bangladesh. Ensure the availability of quality inputs in GIAHS site, development of eco-friendly insect pest and management, conservation and management of water hyacinth, Durelata topopana, that is water vegetations for floating bed preparation, making access of digital and modern agricultural technologies for the GIAHS stakeholder for their awareness and capacity building at community level, introduction of labeling or certification system of agro produces of GIAHS site through formation of accreditation committee by the government of Bangladesh. As we know, consumers believe that the floating garden produces products are superior in terms of quality, that is organic, tasty, etc., as compared to traditional ones. Making digital marketing linkage between the grower and the wholesaler so that the grower can get fair price for their agro produces at GIAHS site. Commercialization of floating agricultural system through producing and exporting quality organic produces, ensuring easy access of credit facilities to the GIAHS farmers. Bangladesh has a number of good agricultural practices, that is shortsan agriculture, pyramid agriculture, guava cultivation, that can be declared as national heritage as GIAHS site. Encourage of private sector or investment in GIAHS site for income generation and livelihood improvement of the vulnerable people. Infrastructure development, that is road communication system, and ecotourism should be developed in the GIAHS site. Sharing of knowledge and experience among the stakeholders, that is researcher, extension personnel, civil society, private sector, etc., regarding GIAHS management through on-farm visiting the GIAHS areas all over the world. And finally, formation of national task force or management committees comprising of concerned person to propose the suitable agricultural practices to the government towards declaring it either national heritage or GIAHS site along with its management. Thank you. This is my overall PowerPoint presentation, but I have another video documentary. If you allow, I can present this video documentary.
How long will it take?
5 minutes.
Sorry to say, if you have extra time, I can ask you to do that at a later stage of this webinar. But please, your presentation covers most of the basic elements. Thank you very much for your presentation. I'm sorry to shut up your attempt to show video, but we need to introduce other two speakers from Thailand, and thank you very much. And next time, when I invite you, I would like to also ask the management side, and are there any governing body or management body to take care of the action plan implementation in your GIAHS site?
Actually, we have no management body is formed here for GIAHS site, but it is needed for the GIAHS site in Bangladesh.
Yeah, I think your research institute has a limitation capacity to do so. I think in order to promote good management of the GIAHS site, the local government or even the national government people must be involved. So I'd like to also discuss and ask this kind of question to you in the future stage. Someday we need to take more long time for you to make such an expanded information. So I must ask not only you, but also the other people, stakeholders in Bangladesh and taking care of the GIAHS site to come and discuss this issue. I feel the need, and thank you very much for a very extensive and very interesting presentation. So this is not the end of our conversation. We need to ask you more presentations in the future stage in a different setting, in a different opportunity. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so let's move to the Thailand, and now we are going to introduce two Thailand potential GIAHS sites or unique agriculture production site. So first presenter is Miss Chiranun Chat. She's an agriculture extensionist at professional level and working in the Thai Sea Salt Development Promotion Group, Community Enterprise Promotion Division of the Thai Ministry, Department of Agriculture Extension. Miss Chiranun Chat, I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce your name very correctly, but are you online and can you start your presentation?
Thank you, Mr. Endo. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jiranan Thaisuchat from Department of Agricultural Extension. First of all, on behalf of Thai Sea Salt Development and Promotion Group, we would like to thank the organizer of this workshop for this opportunity. As you know, FAO just designated the listing of swamp buffalo in the Thalenoi area of southern Thailand last year. So we would like to show you other areas that also could be part of the GIAHS site in the future. What I would like to present to you today is sea salt farming promotion in Pattani Province, Thailand, as part of globally important agricultural heritage system or GIAHS. In this presentation, I will focus on three main sections. For the first section, I would like to give you a background of sea salt in Thailand and Pattani Province. Next, I will focus on GIAHS selection criteria. Lastly, I will end with our goal for GIAHS. So I would like to begin with a history of sea salt that is crucial in Thailand economy and culture. When I talk about sea salt, I mean salt that is produced by the evaporation of seawater. And salt farming in Thailand has been for over 500 years since the 21st century of Buddhist era, which taken at mid 14th to 15th century of Christian era, that which appear as evident in the legend of Nakhon Si Thammarat. It's mentioned that salt farming in Phetchaburi province was initiated and carried out until it was successful by Phra Phanom Thale. He is a nobleman of the Siamese royal court in Ayutthaya era. He is also grandson of King Borompatai Rokanath, who was the king of Ayutthaya kingdom at that time. The king wanted to stop buying salt from other kingdoms. That's why he ordered his grandchild, the army, to conduct the first ever sea salt farming experiment in Phetchaburi province. So since 2011, Thai government agreed to classify sea salt farming as agriculture, and the people who producing salt can called as farmer. According to the recently productive year, in 2022 to 2023, the area of sea salt fields now is about 23,300 rai. It is a unit area in Thai. It's about 3,700 hectares. There are 628 farm households who produce 521,000 tons of sea salt by using a solar evaporation method. Nowadays, sea salt farming is widely practiced across different provinces. Actually, it's 7 provinces in Thailand, including Phetchaburi, Samut Songkhram, Samut Sakhon. These are 3 major producers in the central region of Thailand. And from eastern, there are Chonburi, Chachoengsao, and Chanthaburi province. And the one and only from the southern region, our star today, is Pattani province. And like I said before, there are 7 provinces that still have sea salt production, but why Pattani? And the answer is because of their skill and experiments of producing salt had been inherited from the generation to the generation. So additional equipment and tools and a unique salt farming method have been created and used in sea farming for a long period of time. And their production methods are in line with conservation and sustainable use of natural resources. This is a map of Thailand, so you can see where the Pattani province is located. And it is on the Malay Peninsula with the coast of Gulf of Thailand on the right side. And the salt farms are located in the coastal area of Pattani, covering 3 sub-districts. The first is Bana, second Tanjong Lulo, and the last one is Balahom in Mueang district. This year, there are 524 rai, or 83 hectares of salt farm with 103 farm households in this province. And it is the province known for producing high-quality salt called sweet salt, using traditional methods and indigenous knowledge. In the history of Pattani, salt production has been an important occupation since at least 21st century. It's about the Ayutthaya era. In the past, Pattani salt was not produced by salt farming, but using boiling and simmering from seawater. The change in salt production method had no evidence for a clear date, but it is believed that it probably happened after the first salt farming was initiated in the early Ayutthaya period. After that, Pattani, which had the status being a state of Pattani at that time, it must have been influenced by first salt farming from Phetchaburi province. Here is a picture from 1954, show what sea salt farming looked like in the past. Now and then, this is from the top view from the sea salt field at Bana sub-district. And this you can see Pattani Bay on the right side of the picture. Here is another picture from the sub-district called Tanyong Lulo. You can see salt farm on the right and upper, and also Pattani Bay above there. Next part is GIAHS selection criteria. Number 1, food and livelihood security. Salt from the coastal area of Pattani is noteworthy for its mild salty and later mellow taste. The salt, which is made from the brackish water from the Pattani Bay, where Pattani River and other canals meet the sea. It had a distinct, delightful saltiness and is an important part of the region's rich heritage. Clear one usually means sweet salt, is tasty and not too strong. It is usually used in fermenting mackerel fish, making dried fish, preserving fruit and vegetables, and making voodoo fish sauce, which you can see in the picture, the upper left one, the dark brown liquid in a small bowl. And we usually eat voodoo with local food called khao yam, which are the famous product of the community. The salt from this province has been distributed not only to local market, but also near province, including Nila and Narathiwat, and to neighboring countries such as the northern part of Malaysia, which is Kelantan state. For the criteria number 2, agrobiodiversity. Agricultural biodiversity and mangrove ecosystem has been found around the sea salt farming in Pattani province. It was found many species of sea glass, seaweed, aquatic animals, fishes, sea shrimp, sea crab, mangrove, and etc. So Pattani Bay is an important upstream resource and play an important role as marine nursery. Number 3, local and traditional knowledge. In Pattani, salt farming has been developed to the local wisdom that had existed for a long time. The farmer preserved and passed on ancestral wisdom and using appropriate technology, including creating tools and equipment for salt production. Now, the farmer ensures knowledge and experience to be suitable for the change of the society and community. So, knowledge on salt farming in Pattani province is classified as tacit or implicit knowledge, generated by experience plus intelligence. The farmers collaboratively manage, develop, and create value-added sea salt. Number 4, culture, values, and social organization. Here has such a unique agricultural system. There are the diversity of historical sites, cultures, customs, tradition, and livelihood that different from other provinces. Here, cultural practice related to resource management and food production to ensure conservation and promote fairness in the use and access of natural resources. Here, the local has been working with local academy, such as a university, in the creation of value-added salt products, such as cooking turmeric salt, and nowadays they also offer salt-based skincare products. On the upper left, you can see the field decorated with mirror. This picture was taken from the last year. They have an art festival called Deep Salt. This event shows how collaborative design and creative processes were facilitated. People coming together to share and exchange their skills and resources. On the lower right picture is a storage building for a local community enterprise who works as a group for management software of their members through the year. And lastly, criteria number 5, landscape and seascape feature. Around sea salt farm in Pattani, this area has such a distinctive landscape and brings so many tourists as ecotourism attraction. For example, many years ago, the villagers joined hands in building the Bana wooden bridge in Bana sub-district, which serves as a nature trail through the mangrove forest, stretching to the sea. And there is also a boat to see the mangrove forest and admire the nature around Pattani Bay. For the last section, what is our goal for GIAHS? We hope that agro ecosystem here is preserved as an important source of agricultural products and ecotourism, and creating well-being for the people in the community. The importance of collaboration with all sectors in GIAHS site is recognized, which will provide benefit to all stakeholders, including farmers, communities, and others. Next, local community gain economic benefit from value addition of agricultural products, tourism industry, and protecting biodiversity. Third, local farmers can protect the large salt farm area in the Malay Peninsula, the south of Thailand. And the last, the quality of farmer livelihood is improved. Economic growth in community is promoted, and employment in this area is increases. So thank you for your attention. Please let me know if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions. We would love to hear that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Thais Chat. And one question for confirmation for the sake of the understanding of all the participants. So if this is proposed to GIAHS site, if this is proposed as a just proposed site, these are several combination of several salt production sites in Thailand, not only one place, but also combination of a group of salt production places. Am I right in understanding the current situation or your proposed?
Yes, there are 7 provinces that I said before, but we divide in 2 groups. One is from the Pattani province, and the second is from the western region of Thailand that combine 3 provinces together. But now for the information that we have, so that why we show you only the Pattani province.
Okay. So it is not yet determined. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And can I move to the next speaker? Next speaker is Miss Araya Sukasam. Am I correct in the pronunciation your name? And she's also the agriculture extensionist at professional level at the Agriculture Extension Research and Development Division of Department of Extension of Thailand. She's going to introduce water chestnut farming promotion potential GIAHS site in Suphanburi province. Miss Araya Sukasam, are you online? And are you ready
Yes.
for start the presentation?
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay.
Very well.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Endo, for your kind introductions. Hello, everyone. My name is Alaya. I'm agricultural extensionist from Department of Agricultural Extensions, Ministry of Agricultural Cooperatives. I would like to take this opportunity to present to you about water chestnut farming promotion in Suphanburi province, which is potential GIAHS site in Thailand. For my, did you see my presentation? Okay. For my presentation is divided to 4 sections. I will start with the location and topography features and weather. I will start, and then I will look at Suphanburi water chestnut and significance of the site. Next is about 5 features according to GIAHS criteria. And finally, I will go to talk about threats and challenges. Let me begin with by the location. The water chestnut site is located in the central regions of Thailand at Suphanburi province. The boundary have 2 districts, is Mueang Suphanburi district and Sriprajan district. The location is not far from Bangkok. It's around 100 kilometers, and total of water chestnut farming area is around 500 hectares. The topography of the site is lowland area, mainly vegetation and land used for paddy field, and more important, the soil in this area is suitable for growing water chestnut. For the climate is tropical wet and dry. Average yearly temperature is 28.4 degrees Celsius. Water chestnut, or hell in Thai language, is widely cultivated in Asia. But in Thailand, significance of water chestnut site in Suphanburi is the largest production site in Thailand. And its economic commodity of Suphanburi province. Water chestnut production in Thailand has long history for 73 years. It has been planted in Suphanburi province since 1950, particularly in Samchuk district, and extend to Mueang Suphanburi district and Sriprajan district. Presently, there are 184 farm households. Suitable topographical feature is and weather are important factors to make the water chestnut grow well with a good quality, like have a large crop, firm, fresh, and authentic taste. In 2017, it is registered as Thai geographical indication named Hell Suphan or water chestnut Suphan. So water chestnut farming use manual labor with a local wisdom, and the site is creative agricultural tourism destination that maintain the identity and local wisdom of the community. So this is what water chestnut look like. And I will tell you briefly about benefit of water chestnut. The water chestnuts can eaten by raw, or you can cook it. They contain essential nutrients and antioxidants that improve the overall health for your body and provide health benefits. For the example, is may help lower your blood pressure and reduce risk of heart disease. And it can reduce a risk of oxidative stress and help fight cancer growth. And moreover, is about promote weight loss. According to GIAHS criteria, the water chestnut farming leads to food and livelihood security. Most of people here, they work in agriculture, and water chestnut are a sort of food, employment, and income for household. In the community, the farmer, they produce their own water chestnut crops and exchange between them. Farmer practice is a crop rotation by growing various plants on the same land, such as water chestnut, rice, and taro. On the upper right-hand side of the slide, the presentation slide show the detail of production cost and profit. Obviously, water chestnut production has a higher cost, but more profitable than other products, especially in rice production. To making more profit, farmer will harvest when they are satisfied with the price and according to market demand. Water chestnut are food ingredients for household consumption and various processing. Moreover, the water chestnut site is also promoting agrotourism that I will show you later on. And this slide, as you can see from the table, we found the number of households tend to gradually decrease. Is consequently, inheriting is important for conservation for the water chestnut farming system. This slide show various products from water chestnut. It can make a can, water chestnut can, and can be an ingredient for some local food like gang som. In Thai, we call gang som is a spicy sour soup. It can be ingredient for spicy fish cake and some of Thai Chinese food like dim sum and dumpling. And not only local dishes, they can produce like freeze dry water chestnut and be a French fry from water chestnut. And they can be also an ingredient for handicraft item and beauty item like body scrub. And I'm proud to present the popular classic Thai dessert called Thap Tim Grob. Thap Tim Grob is a water chestnut coated in soft and chewy tapioca gel, served in sweet syrup, coconut milk, and ice. This dessert is very delicious and refreshing. If you have a chance, come to Thailand, try this dessert, or in your country you have Thai restaurant, maybe it's had this dessert. Okay, next slide is according to next GIAHS criteria, agrobiodiversity of water chestnut site reflects safe production and environmental friendliness that promote the conservation and restoration of biodiversity in the area. So human agricultural activity also play a part. Let me take an example. Farmers in the community, they rotate plant in their farmland. They grow water chestnut, rice, and sometimes taro. This technique can help keep the land fertile. Plus, they do not use hazardous chemical nor the burning method of conventional farming. And some farmers in this area, they also practice organic farming as well. Component of agricultural biodiversity are production resources and generate more community income, and also contribute tourism associated with agricultural landscapes. Let's see through an example of water chestnut traditional knowledge and method for farming. They have been accumulated through a long time for generation to generation. In propagation practice, farmers have a method for selecting water chestnut crop and using natural material in their area. And for land preparation, before planting, the farmer, they use a tool. In the picture, you can see the tool is consist of rope and wooden stick. This tool used to measure the distance between rows and to mark those distance on the field. This method can help farmer control pace care and maintenance process, farmer create a special tool called Mai Whack Long Hell. It separate the water chestnut leaf and pave the way for fertilizing and easy for monitoring pests. And in the harvest process, farmers step down into the field, place their heel in a circle way. Then they use both of hands to scoop up all the mud inside the circle. And then they use their fingers to search a water chestnut crumb, pick them one by one and put them into the bag or the basket. In the harvest process, you can see the picture. Farmer, they usually work from 1 a.m. until early morning to avoid the sunlight and heat. For the last example process, peeling process, they apply a peeling knife for peeling the black skin of water chestnut before take them to another process. This process is require labor and meticulous skill. Culture, value system, and social organization. Example tradition, like a special day. In Thai, we call Wan Pak Thong Chai. And they have some traditional spiritual and also have their own water chestnut food festival. They have cultural practice like farming activity by gathering people in the community. And so the traditional and cultural leads to the close association of social organizations and cultural values such as farmer institutes, Supan water chestnut cluster, and saving group. These social organizations embedded in rural community and also contribute to transfer of traditional knowledge to next generations. In this slideshow, one-day activity created and run by Som Wang Thi Wang Yang Community Enterprise and Community-Based Agro-Tourism Group. The aim is to help farmers earn extra income and also want to promote the local way of life of water chestnut farmer. The tourist program is not just for an adult. They also apply the trip for kids and teenagers as well. According to last criteria is landscape feature. I have some picture of water chestnut site in Suphanburi to show you. There are a beautiful landscape created by human activity, agricultural activity, and the environment. And for the last section is threats and challenges. We have 4 threats and challenges for water chestnut farming site in Suphanburi province. The first one is a climate change, the biggest problem that we are facing today. For the draft of action plan is to promote agricultural production plan, promoting good agricultural practice, to organic agricultural to create food security and safety in community. The second is labor shortage, elderly farmers and field successor. For the action plan is application of appropriate technologies and innovation in production. To encouraging research and develop to improve production efficiency. And to promote smart farmer as a role model for young generation to agricultural sector. And develop learning center and conserving water chestnut farming. For the third is increase production cost and uncertainty sale price. The action plan is increase water chestnut processing potential and capacity building on water chestnut production for increasing agricultural competitiveness. And the last one is population growth and urban expansion effect to the local communities. The action plan is deciding water chestnut farming area as agricultural conservation site and increase employment in the area. In the final, I would like to tell you about goal for GIAHS. The goal is to promote and preserve water chestnut cultivation in Suphanburi province for food security and economic development. Also, it is to have a conservation and sustainable use of biological resources and biodiversity and in accordance with local culture and resources, including promoting water chestnut product, agrotourism, and other incentive mechanism, and also market opportunity to farmer in this area. And that brings us to the end. This is our preliminary information for water chestnut farming production in Suphanburi province. We are still collecting the data for promote the farming area. I am looking forward to hearing suggestions from you. And if you would like more information, here is my contact on the screen. I would like to thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you very much, Ms. Saraya. Skasam, sorry, Skasam. Thank you very much for two Thai presenters. These presentations are a very impressive one, and I am expecting that the proposal will be made and sent to us in the near future. And this comes to the end of the whole presentation. Now we will get into we'll start the question and answer time until 4 o'clock in the Thai time and, 5 o'clock in the Thai time and 12 in the Roman time. Before starting the question and answer, I must inform you that very important aspect of the GIAHS proposal making. We didn't include in our presentation due to lack of time. I'm very sorry to say, but when you make a proposal document, it is required to make a very clear and justifiable and quite reasonable explanation on the 5 criteria. This is a quite basic requirement. But in addition to that, we are also required to explain to the proposer or applicants that the global importance of the proposed site. Global importance is a composite, total concept to explain why the proposed site has a global importance, global significance. The global significance is a concept that the value of such a GIAHS site can be shared across the border of the nations. So if there is a one GIAHS potential site whose value or importance is just understood by a national people, this doesn't have a value to be a GIAHS site. And rather than that, we are asking that the explanation that why your proposed site has some value that can be shared and also that can be evaluated by the people in other countries. So this is very important aspect of the GIAHS proposal document. This is written in the guideline for the proposal making, which you can download from our website. And by saying that, I would like to conclude the session of the presentation. Now, I would like to ask any questions to you. Please do not hesitate to raise any question. So people from Thailand, through interpreters, you can ask any questions.
I have some question.
Yes, please.
Could you please, interpreter can translate my question in Thai to the English to make it clear?
Please. Yes.
Okay. อันนี้ล่ามพร้อมแปลใช่ไหมคะคุณนัทฟ้าพูดภาษาไทยได้เลยใช่ไหม
พูดได้เลยค่ะ
โอเคตอนนี้เนาะก็กรมส่งเสริมเนี่ยก็ได้มีการที่จะไปส่งเสริมเนาะในเรื่องของ GIAHS เนี่ยในพื้นที่นะคะแล้วก็จะมีคำถามจากตัวเจ้าหน้าที่เองแล้วก็รวมถึงเกษตรกรเนี่ยถามว่านะคะตัว GIAHS เนี่ยค่ะเขามีเป็นวันหมดอายุไหมหมายถึงว่าถ้าเราได้ขึ้นทะเบียนเนาะเนี่ยตรงนี้เนี่ยมันจะมีอายุครอบคลุมเท่าไหร่นะคะแล้วถ้าเรามี action plan นะคะแล้วไม่สามารถดำเนินการตาม action plan ได้อย่างเช่นเราจะคงพื้นที่เนาะให้มีอยู่เท่านี้ไม่ให้ลดลงแล้วการเวลาเปลี่ยนไปเนี่ยพื้นที่การทำเกษตรเนี่ยอาจจะลดลงอย่างเงี้ยค่ะมันจะส่งผลต่อการขึ้นทะเบียนไหมที่เราขึ้นทะเบียนไปอันเนี้ยค่ะเป็นคำถามทันไหมคะ
Excuse me, could you repeat once again? The sound is not so clear. Yeah, sorry. First question is not so clear. Valid. Okay. I understand. Okay. Valid. Okay. Okay. Regarding the first question, yes, we are now establishing a monitoring system to the already designated GIAHS sites. We do not have such a systematic mechanism to monitor. So in the near future, we'll monitor the current situation of the GIAHS site and what is the impact of the GIAHS designation and what are the outcome of the action plan implementation. We'll monitor, we'll collect information of such kind of information to understand the status or states of the GIAHS sites. And depending on the states of the GIAHS sites, we'll give some caution or suggestion, advice in such a way that you should improve this. You should more actively conserve the GIAHS sites, or so there is no clear time when the GIAHS has its qualification. There is no time, definitive time we have decided regarding the time for validation of the GIAHS or qualification of the GIAHS. There is no such kind of concept. But after the GIAHS is designated, we will soon establish a monitoring system to evaluate the current state of the GIAHS site. And then we'll provide some guidance or advices to improve it. But if all the GIAHS elements are lost, in such a case, even after we give advices or suggestion, if there is no improvement, and if all the GIAHS elements are lost, then we may have to, in the near future, to cancel the GIAHS qualification. But we do not have such a system right now. The first thing is to establish a monitoring system and give advice for improvement, and then we'll see what will happen. We're not trying to make some punishment system assuming that we'll take out the GIAHS codification as soon as it is we monitor. We just give advice. Then after we'll take a look at what will happen. And this is the response I wish to the first question. And for the second question, yes, we're asking all GIAHS sites to conduct action plan. This action plan is try to achieve dynamic conservation. And dynamic conservation is the concept of conservation plus development or modification. So agriculture is a living tool for farmers, rural communities. They must always change depending on the economic, social, and environmental conditions. They must change agriculture. But while approving the changes, we need to ask the conservation of the core element, original important element factors of the GIAHS. So we are asking both conservation of the main element of the GIAHS, but when there is a need for modification, we are encouraging to modify or changes. So in a more flat way, we are asking, please do not change the core element of GIAHS sites, but where you can change, besides this core element, except for this core element of GIAHS site, please try to accommodate, implement the necessary changes for your better life, or to adjust your agriculture system more fit in the contemporary or necessary conditions. So this is what the GIAHS is trying to do. So we are not asking to conserve the GIAHS sites as it has been. This is critically different from the UNESCO site. I wish I could explain the question. Is it okay? Or do you have any additional requests for clarification or questions? You are muted. I don't hear, sorry. Okay, okay.
It is very clearly.
ชัดเจนนะครับครับชัดเจนว่า
มีอีกหนึ่งคำถาม
Yes, please.
นี่ปิดเสียง ปิดที่แปล มีอีกหนึ่งคำถามค่ะอยากจะให้ทางคุณเอนโดเนี่ยช่วยยกตัวอย่างเนาะความสำคัญในระดับโลกนะคะที่เป็นปัจจัยสำคัญเนาะว่าพื้นที่ที่จะได้รับการขึ้นทะเบียนเนี่ยต้องมีความสำคัญในระดับโลกที่ทางคุณเอนโดได้เน้นย้ำไว้ในช่วงท้ายอะค่ะ
Yes, global. Yes, thank you. Global significance is difficult to raise as an example, but you can appeal your specific feature of the potential GIAHS sites as a global significance by appealing that these values or significant unique features in your potential GIAHS sites can be also shared and highly evaluated by other nations. So the value is not owned and highly supported by local nations, local people in the nation. The value or features or good, unique aspect, characteristic of the potential GIAHS site can be also shared and by the by the other country people. And this can be well explained if you explain in the context of the contribution to the relevance or solution for the global agriculture issues or global environment issues, such as agrobiodiversity, or biodiversity or climate change. Now, in the global community and agriculture community in the world are seriously discussing how to conserve biodiversity, agrobiodiversity, or how to address the issue of climate changes. So if your unique features in the potential site in Thailand has some relevance or contribution or give some solution for the issues of agrobiodiversity or biodiversity or climate changes, this can be a good appealing point to claim or say that the unique feature of your Thailand GIAHS site has global significance. For example, if you explained water chestnut farming, and water chestnut farming has many local varieties, and this has some good cases. This can show that how the agrobiodiversity can be conserved and utilized by farmers. This can be a model for the agrobiodiversity enhancement. And this can show to the other agriculture community in the world that how the agrobiodiversity can be conserved. So by showing, linkage of your cases to the global community and global issues, you can appeal that your GIAHS site has a global importance. For some, if your water chestnut farming site has good practices for addressing the climate change, you can appeal that point. And you do not have to explain that your GIAHS site can contribute solutions for the global issues. It's not possible. But if your GIAHS site has some contribution to the issues of climate change or biodiversity themselves, this is a good appealing point. So this is not, we are not expecting that your site can contribute to the global issues as a whole, but rather we are expecting that the connection, linkage, or contribution of your site's uniqueness to the solution of the global issues. The global issues, solution of the global issues and contributed to the solution of the entire global community is a different concept. So if your site has some good practices that can address climate change or biodiversity conservation or sustainable use of biodiversity or agrodiversity, it can be a good appealing point. So just introduce your site information, the practices that can be observed in your site, proposed site, and please explain the connection between your practices and to the solution or contribution to the issues that are discussed widely in the global community, such as biodiversity or climate change. And this global issue has more wide ranges, for example, environment protection, or even the social and economic aspect as well as a very good point. So some of your practices are contributing to, for example, women empowerment of ladies, or conservation of the landscapes, or the retention of the local population in the local community. These are also good points, or something like that. So I think I have explained. This is not an easy issue, and this is always a disputing point in the evaluation process of SAG. And please note that it is not our job to interpret or assess evaluation of the proposal document. It is an expert group, but I'm now trying to interpret what the SAG expert is trying to say. And this global significance is one of the disputing point always we see in the discussion on the SAG. So it is very difficult for me to explain very clearly well, but this is a point we are expecting to highlight in the proposal document. Did I explain myself clearly to you? And I wonder you.
Very clearly. Thank you, Mr. Endo.
Thank you. It is because you are very clever to understand my very complicated explanation. And any other question to Thailand people? And yeah, please feel free to ask question. I don't think even the question is quite out of the mark. I don't feel it's a ridiculous question or something like that. Please feel free. And for our sake of understanding, this is a good opportunity to ask. Can I ask a question? This is question and answer time, so I can also raise a question. To Dr. Alimor to Bangladesh. Dr. Raman, what is the value chain of the vegetable and crops grown in the floating garden? What is a typical value chain where the farmers send the products, and when the water floated, how long the water occupy the farmer in the year? How many months? And when the dry season comes, how does the floating garden situation, floating garden places look like? Please.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Actually, as I told previously, Bari has developed different kinds of modern technology on floating garden, and farmers are used of this technology in the gas site, and but they are not get a fair price of their product, as this product are organic and tasty than that of traditional agro produces, but no certification system are here in Bangladesh. It is needed for a proper certification system of the gas products, and also need to monitoring the gas activities, and also promote the modern technology of floating garden based technologies all over Bangladesh where possible. But in the recent years, the floating garden is facing different challenges due to water salinity, and the materials, floating bed materials, particularly water hyacinth, is availability of water hyacinth is decreasing day by day. This is a major challenges challenge in the floating garden promotion in Bangladesh. The floating garden is usually practiced in rainy season, where water level of 1 meter or above. But in winter season, the bed is placed on land and break down and incorporate with soil for winter crop production, and it reduce the uses of chemical fertilizer and pesticides, and increase the subsequent yield. The farmers traditionally sell their products in the local market, as I mentioned earlier, but they do not have a fair price of their product. So marketing channel should be developed, and digitalization of marketing, and also proper management of gas site, as also conservation of agro-biodiversity diversity also needed, and also certification system that was also mentioned. Certification system is a mandatory for getting higher price of the gas products. And also, is it possible to arrange a sightseeing of the gas site all over the world? Those who are working on gas, it is also helpful for management at regional level, or in a country, or to share the knowledge of other gas sites in our country or other relevant ecosystems. It will be helpful. for us.
Okay, thank you very much. And do you have any other question? Dr. Shin, Korea?
FAO has FAO any plan to monitoring in Bangladesh, also to arrange any workshop or sightseeing or certification system activities?
Yes, we are going to do that in the near future. So definitely we'd like to send someone or monitor the Bangladesh system in the near future. We are now establishing this system. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Dr. Shin in Korea, are you here online? Okay. Okay. So if there is no further question, Dr. Alimal Raman, can you play the video for 5 minutes?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Do you have agritourism in your area? Agritourism?
Yeah.
Can tourists take boat and
Thank you, sir.
Enjoy the agriculture? Can tourists take the boat and take part in the agriculture production? Okay. So please, there is no sound, unfortunately.
Sir, thank you, sir. I have another video, small video.
Okay, please go ahead. But we have a time limit until 12, so please read just 3-4 minutes.
How can we feed a growing population?
My name is Dr. Selina Parveen Banu. Today we are here at Pulkori Kindergarten School. We make the children aware about the floating garden technology for food production and ultimately for food security. The world is overpopulated. We have to manage food. We have to give the food security to those people. So we have to grow more food, no other option. Bangladesh is a low-lying country, and due to the sea level rise, lot of flooding and waterlog increasing. So we are losing the land for food production. The kids, they need to know how to grow the food, how hard it is, and how to make our planet safe for food. Scientists all over the world, we are trying to mitigate this problem, but there is lot more work to be done.
It rains in my village for 4 months. We have lots of water. We have floating garden.
It is important to talk with the children all over the country, but it is more important to talk with the children of remote areas because the real problem is with them. Using the technology of floating garden, now the farmers can cultivate crops round the year. They're selling seed and they're producing food. 2 types of income. To mitigate the global warming problem, we need to have more advanced research, and the most important thing is the future scientists. They will make the new technology advance the indigenous technology to the future people of Bangladesh.
What would you do?
Thank you. That's very interesting video. I envy your country. 25 population of Japan, my country, is over 65 years old. But your country is so young and lots of young people. Do you have any question?
Yes, this video is really impressive, and I also like to remind Thailand, the ministry and local authorities is very important if you can have some fund to make some videos or high quality pictures and submit to us, to FAO. So FAO can use all the material submitted to for many activities to promote visibilities for each GIAHS site.
Okay, thank you, Fui, for reminding us. Thailand has already made a very attractive video of the Tanoi land system. So if you send us such an excellent, very interesting videos, we can show it when there's some webinar or seminar or workshops. And this has opened the door of the local community to the global people's attention, and more attention will be drawn to the GIAHS site. So this comes to the end of all the seminar, webinar this time. And thank you very much for all of the participants and presenters for sharing your time, for attending and listening to the presentation. And of course, it is not possible to understand everything of GIAHS through this one-shot learning process. So as I announced before, we are going to organize another next webinar for Thailand. This next webinar will highlight the action plan or activities after the GIAHS is designated. This is critically important because this is the purpose of GIAHS, not the designation, but to promote the activities for conservation and development of the site. GIAHS is trying to give a special framework where people have got together, including private and public sector people, researchers, farmers, private industry people, all together in the local community to start accommodated and consolidated action to conserve and develop the site. This is just a framework to give such an opportunity. And the GIAHS Secretariat is trying to organize a special symposium on GIAHS and rural development in November in Japan. And we are also planning in December workshop to talk about GIAHS and biodiversity. I also introduced the outcome of these 2 events in the next national workshop on Thailand. maybe due to the very tight schedule of preparation, we have to organize the next second national workshop on GIAHS in Thailand in next February or March time, or even April. I'm not so much sure. So, but please, let's try to communicate and keep contact with us, and see you in the next webinar in the specializing the action plan implementation. So thank you once again for Dr. Vanida, who is not here today, but also Dr. Nachang for preparation. And I would like to also thank GIAHS Secretariat, and once again, all the presenters and participants who shared your time. Thank you. So this is the end of the webinar. See you in the next time soon. Thank you.
Thank you really much, Mr. Endo.
Kopung krap.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Bye bye.
Vui.